Today's class is a chair yoga practice. Start seated either on a chair or a couch, and we'll close our eyes, taking a few deep breaths in and out to get settled. Notice where you feel the breath move in your body. Open your eyes when you're ready. We're going to pick our right foot up off the ground. You can use the chair for support. You can grab onto your leg if that feels good, and we'll begin to circle the ankle in both directions and just try to stay sitting up tall. Now we'll try to move the hips. So again, if you need the hands on the chair to support you, try to circle your hip a few times in both directions. And we'll switch sides. Sitting up tall, pick up that left foot, maybe grab onto the shin or the leg if that feels good as you begin to mobilize that left ankle, making some circles in both directions. And again, we'll circle that left hip joint, hold everything else really still. Good, come to your comfortable seat. We're gonna warm up the hands, make a fist and really close the fist. Spread and extend your fingers out. Make a fist, spread and extend the fingers. You're going to keep doing that. Start to move as fast as you can with the hands, but try not to move anywhere else. If you can, keep the breath nice and slow as the hands start to pick up the pace. So we're warming up the fingers, the wrists, the forearms. Lots of movement here as we open and close the hands. Sitting up tall. Bring that right palm forward with the fingers down. Elbow will come in toward the ribs. We'll take the left hand, pull back across the right fingers, keeping that nice tall posture. Switching sides, left palm forward, elbow comes in toward the ribs, pull back with the right fingers. Release it down, coming into a side bend. Reach your right arm up and side bend over toward the left. You can let the neck relax. Big breath in and out. Come back up and switch. Left arm up, side bend to the right, getting this nice stretch along the left side of the body. Come back up, release it down. We'll take some seated cat-cow. So we're going to bring the chest forward, maybe pull the shoulders back a little bit, and then exhale, round your back. Chin can come toward your chest if that feels good, and just do that same movement back and forth as if we're arching the back and rounding the back. So we're extending the spine and then flexing the spine. Come back up to that seated position. Roll your right shoulder up and back, and then the left shoulder up and back. And you're going to do that a few more times, alternating between right and left, noticing any areas that feel a little sticky or noisy as we roll the shoulders back. We're going to move into a hip hinge, so stay where you are. I'm going to face sideways just for a little bit so you can see what my spine looks like as I work on this hip hinge. So you'll have your feet on the ground and really think about a broom behind your back. Would it touch the back of your skull, your shoulder blades or your scapula, and your sacrum right above your tailbone? So that's how we can tell we've got our neutral tall spine. We're going to reach the arms up and you're going to hinge forward. So think about bringing your torso towards your thigh, any amount, but the goal is to keep this long spine so that when we hinge, we don't round or collapse. So you're in this hip hinge, really pressing into the feet, and then lift back up. We're gonna practice that a few more times. So we wanna press into the feet, almost like we're squeezing the glutes, like we're about to lift off the chair, but we're gonna stay seated. We just wanna have the glutes active. So again, we're gonna hold our core strong, hinge forward like we're hovering over the thighs. Really squeeze your glutes, press your feet into the ground, come back up. Good, let's try that 2 more times. Hinge forward. So our torso is hovering over the thighs. We're keeping the core strong, feeling like we've still got that broom behind our back. 1 more time, practice that hip hinge. Glutes are on like you're pressing into the feet, about to stand up off your chair. And then come back up. Good, release your arms down for a moment. We're gonna roll the shoulders a few more times. And we'll start to move into a little bit more of a flow. So let's check how we're sitting. You can scoot forward on your chair as much as you need, especially if you have shorter legs like I do and you need to put your feet on the ground. So move to the edge of the seat as much as you need. And again, we're gonna think about that broom being behind our back. Make sure that your shoulders are stacking right over your pelvis. Now check that the pelvis isn't tipping forward or tipping backward. So we wanna hold this pelvic bowl in our upright position, imagining that these 2 pelvic points could draw in toward each other. Let's get started. Inhale your arms forward and up. As your arms lift up, reach your shoulder blades up towards your ears. Now we're gonna do that same hinge. Exhale, hinge forward, press into your feet, squeeze your glutes. Pause here. Lift your belly. We're gonna press into the toes. Try to lift the heels up and down. Lift the heels up and down. 1 more. Lift the heels up and down. Good, lift back up. Hands come down. Inhale, arms up. Lift those shoulder blades up. Exhale, hinge. Hold this hinging position. Keep that long spine. Core is strong. Lift the heels. Lower down. Lift the heels. Lower down. 1 more. Lift the heels. Lower down. Lift back up. Goal post your arms. So elbows are bent. Elbows are coming right out from the shoulders. And we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades together so the forearms draw back and then back to neutral. So it looks like we're moving the forearms back, but really what's happening is our shoulder blades, our scapula are squeezing in toward each other and back to neutral. So the movement is coming from the shoulder blades. And as we do this squeeze, we want to make sure the ribs don't pop. So we're holding everything in place. The only thing that moves is the shoulder blades. Good, release your arms down. Inhale, arms up. Lift your scapula up towards your ears. Exhale, hinge. Keep that feeling of the broom behind your back. Use your glutes. Lift the heels. Lower down. Lift the heels. Lower down. Lift the heels. Lower down. Lift up. Now hold here. Now we're going to reach the shoulder blades up toward the ears. Back down. Lift the shoulder blades up. Back down. Try not to move anywhere else. Just the shoulder blades. 1 more. Lift the shoulder blades. Down. Let the arms come down for a moment. Inhale, arms up. Shoulder blades lift up. Exhale, hinge. Keep that feeling of the broom behind your back. Glutes are strong. Press into your feet. Lift the heels. Lower down. Lift the heels. Lower down. 1 more. Lift the heels. Lower down. Lift back up. Hands will come down. If you need some extra support, grab onto your chair. And again, scoot forward as much as you need. We're going to work on our hip flexion. So we're going to use the glutes and work the core as we pick up the right foot. So that's flexing the right hip. Make sure nothing's changed in your posture. And then step it down. Without moving anything else, pick up that left foot, flexing the left hip. Step it down. Keep alternating right and left. So it's a lot of core work while we're sitting to be able to lift up the foot without the shoulders rounding, without anything else moving. 1 more each side. Release it down. Inhale, arms lift up. Shoulder blades glide up. Exhale, hinge. Really use your glutes as if you were about to stand up off the chair. Hold your core strong. Lift up the heels. Lower down. Lift the heels. Lower down. Lift the heels. Lower down. Lift back up. Hands will come to the heart this time. We're gonna add on to that hip flexion. Check that your shoulders are over the pelvis. Pelvis isn't tipping forward or back. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll flex that right hip. So again, we wanna engage the core. Use your glutes. Rotate just 1 inch toward the right. So we're just moving the thoracic spine where the ribs are. Back to center. Again, rotate to the right. Back to center. Keep that long spine. Rotate to the right. Back to center. Lower that right foot down. Lower the hands. Inhale, arms lift up. Shoulder blades glide up. Exhale, hinge. Keep the glutes nice and strong. Don't let the head drop. Press into the feet. Lift the heels. Lower the heels. Use your glutes. Lift the heels. Lower the heels. One more. Lift the heels. Lower the heels. Come back up. Hands to the heart. Sit up tall. Flex that left hip. Now hold the core strong. Think about that broom behind your back. Rotate just 1 inch to the left. So we're just moving the ribs. Back to center. Try not to let anything in the lower body move. Rotate to the left. Back to center. So even here, we're working the core. Rotate to the left. Back to center. Lower the hands. Lower the foot. Inhale, arms up. Shoulder blades glide up. Exhale, hinge. Pause here. Use your glutes. Keep that long spine so the back doesn't round. Press into the toes. Lift the heels. Lower down. Lift the heels. Lower down. Lift the heels. Lower down. Lift back up. Lower the hands. We're going to take the feet out a little bit wider as if we're coming into a goddess squat. So we only want to externally rotate the hips as long as it feels comfortable. So we don't want to force that rotation. And again, sit up tall. Check that the shoulders are over your pelvis. We're going to reach the arms out and circle the arms back. So as we circle, you can make the circles as small as you want. You can go as slowly as you'd like, but I want you to focus on your shoulder blades. So our scapula is where the circles are starting. And again, hold still everywhere else. Try not to let the ribs pop. Try not to let the pelvis tip. So we're keeping that long spine and just moving the arms. Good. Bring your palms forward. We're going to work on moving our ribs side to side. So it's a lateral movement side to side. So we're going to shift just the ribs to the right, back to center, then over toward the left and back to center. Now, as you move side to side, do this at any pace you'd like, but we're really working on isolating the movement in the ribs. So try not to let the lower body move. So if you feel the chair moving, you're probably moving more than the ribs. So we can always scale back, make the movement smaller so that you can really focus on that one part moving, just the ribs. Good, release your arms down for a moment. Let's roll the shoulders back one at a time, stretching it out a bit. Good, arms will come back out. We'll come into a side stretch or another lateral side body stretch. You can keep this right arm out or you can bring it to the right leg. As the left arm stretches up and over, let the neck release. Big stretch for that left side of the body. Good, come back to center. Again, this left arm can stay here or it can come down to the leg as we side bend to the left. Let the head release. Back to center. Keep that nice upright posture. One more each side. Side bend to the right. Let the neck relax. Back to center. Side bend to the left. Back to center. Release your arms. Come back to your comfortable seat. Let's take a few more cat-cows here. Moving the back. Pelvis gets to tip forward and back. Low back moves, thoracic spine or the mid-upper back moves, all the way up to the cervical spine if you're moving the head and neck. Good, come back up to your seated position. We'll reach the right arm up and bend at the elbow. Now, if this feels like a big stretch, either somewhere along that right shoulder or right tricep, you can stick with this. If you'd like to grab on with the left hand, you can, but make sure that by grabbing on, we haven't popped the ribs out. So again, think about that broom behind your back. And as you're stretching here, really feel the ribs expand side to side as you breathe in. One more breath here. We're going to release the left hand if it was up and bring this left wrist into extension. So the palm is forward. We're going to grab toward the left ear, pull the head to the right, getting a nice stretch in the left side of the neck. Keep sitting up as tall as you can. Try not to round anywhere. Come back up, release it down. Left arm up. Bend at the elbow, stick with this, or grab on. Make sure we haven't popped the ribs, so hold that feeling of the broom behind your back. Focus on the ribs expanding side to side. Release that right hand, and again, wrist will come into extension. Grab toward the right ear, pull the head to the left. Make sure this right shoulder stays down and doesn't lift up toward the ear. Come back up, release it down. One more time, roll the shoulders up and back. Staying in your seated position, hands can rest on your legs, hands can come to the belly or the heart, wherever you'd like, and we'll close our eyes. Relax your forehead. Soften your jaw. Notice wherever you feel the breath move in your body. Take a moment to thank yourself for your practice today, for this time of self-love and self-care. Sending one grateful thought out into the universe. Stay here as long as you'd like.